Hello, we are going to look how to deploy the simple Node.js application to the Google Cloud, and we are going to look at entire process done using a web console of Google Cloud. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to create a brand new project. So it will be a new project with Cloud App. I will enable all services, all necessary services step by step, and I'm going to deploy web app from using an automatic deployment using Google Cloud Build pipeline straight from GitHub. So please have a look how it is done. So the first thing what I have to do, I have to create a new project. So I need to give this project some name. Let's say I call it browser info. So that will be my project browser info, and Google give me a standard name. I can edit this or I can leave it like that. There's no problem. I'm going to leave it like that. It's okay. So it will be browser info dash 442123. It doesn't really matter. This is for my information. I should know where it is. So now we are waiting when Google will create a project. We can see the project was created, and I have this project available here on the list. So when I select it, then I'm inside this project and I can manage services associated with this project at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I have to enable a couple of APIs. I have to enable App Engine Admin API, and I have to enable Cloud Build API. So those two services will allow me both to programmatically manage deployment of web app services, and also it will allow me programmatically trigger build process. So what I'm going to do, I just go here to the search bar, and in the search bar I can type App Engine Admin API, and all what I have to do, I have to enable this. So I'm enable access to App Engine Admin API in my browser info project. This is important. When I have enabled this in different project before, it doesn't really matter. It has to be enabled in this particular project which I'm setting up at the moment. So the next thing what I have to do, I have to enable Cloud Build API. Cloud Build API. Okay, I have this. I can select to enable it. In a second, we'll see that it is enabled. It is good sometimes to enable Cloud Storage API if you would need to store the logs. It's optional at this stage, but I'm going to enable it. Cloud Storage API. Okay, so all those APIs are disabled. That's okay. So that will be okay. So the next thing what I have to do, I have to actually set up App Engine. App Engine is an environment where I will be able to run a web application. So I'm just going to this bar here, and I select App Engine. If you don't have App Engine here, or what you need to do, again, in the search bar, App Engine, and the App Engine then will be available, and you can go here. So what I have to do here in the App Engine, I have to create an application. And when I'm creating application, I need to select a particular region where I want to do. So close to me is Europe West, there's London, I can just select it. And I need to select a service account which will be used to run the web service. I can just select App Engine default service account. This is okay for now, and I can click next. It will create an application, 1 second. We'll need to wait when application will create itself. In the meantime, we can have a look here in the source code. We have two files. There is app.yml, which specify what environment I'm going to run it. It's Node.js. The size of the web application. This is there's various different sizes related to performance, and so on, and the environment. I'm using standard environment. As I said, standard in most cases will be right. And another file is Cloud Build YML. This basically describe to the builder what it needs to do. How does it need to build? It specify what container will be used. So this is using default Google Cloud container for building an application. So let me go back to my application. Okay, I don't have to do anything here. Theoretically, I should select that this is Node.js, but all that information will come from those YML files, which I did show you in a second. So as long as we have app YML, that will define runtime. I don't have to define this runtime here. So, okay, we have our app engine setup. What we have to do, we have to configure a trigger to detect changes in a GitHub repository. When there will be any change here, I have two branches, main and release. For this exercise, for this presentation, I will configure trigger that when I push something to main branch, it will trigger deployment straight to Google Cloud. So stay with me, please have a look at how it is done. So what I have to do, I have to go to Cloud Build and Triggers. Again, when I go to Cloud Build Triggers, I am in my project, so I will create triggers for my project. I'm all the time inside this project. So what I have to do, I have to create a trigger. Okay, we'll call this trigger something. We'll say simple app. Region, we could use global. And now I have to specify what type of trigger I want to initiate the deployment. So I said that push to a branch. So any push to the branch will automatically trigger building. There's many different approaches, depends what we want to do, depends on our branch management. It could be tag, it could be deployment to any specific branch. In this case, for purpose of this presentation, I just want to do the simplest possible operation. So push to the main branch will trigger deployment. So that's what I'm leaving here as default. I'm leaving as the first generation repository, and what I have to do, I have to connect a repository. So when I'm connecting repository, I'm selecting GitHub because my repository is here in GitHub. So I'm selecting GitHub. I select a continue. Now the authentication window will trigger, and you have to authenticate yourself to your GitHub account. And when you do that, you will be asked to specify which repositories are connected. So at the moment, I have connected only one repository, but when you will be doing this, please have a look in Edit Repositories on a GitHub, and here you will be able to specify which repositories are connected to this particular pipeline. So I have only my one repository, client information sample app. I can select it. I understand that it will be visible, and I can select connect. So at the moment, repository is connected here, and the branch main is monitored. I could change this branch. I could use any other branch, At this moment, this regular expression branch main will be monitored. And look what's next. Next is configuration. And what it's saying, in this case, is auto detect, and it says that Cloud Build YML or Docker file will be detected in the repository. So in our repository, we do have Cloud Build YML, which provide the instruction about how to build our application. So I can leave it as auto detect. It's the depository which will be deployed. I don't want any approvals. We can have approval here. And what I need to do now, I hit create. Make sure that all fields are correct. Let's have a look. What is missing here? Oh, service account. I didn't select, obviously. I didn't select the service account. Do you remember when we created the web app, I said use default service account, and that create for me default service account. So I add it here. I hit create. And this trigger should be created at the moment. Once trigger is created, I could run it from here and I will be able to see the history. But this is not what we want to do. We want to respond to changes which will happen in the repository. So what I'm going to do, I will now go to Visual Studio Code. I will make a change to the source code and I will push this to GitHub. Once this is done, it should trigger new build. So let's do a simple edit. For example, I'm going to change something. Here is information about your IP and browser. Let's say we say something like this. I save it. Now I can see git status. I can see file is changed. I can do git add, git commit, and I will add small change of welcome text. Okay, and I can push it. I can push it to GitHub. Once it is pushed to GitHub, and when I see the history, I should see the trigger starting. So the building is happening at the moment. We can have a look. The logs. So it is running at the moment. When it finish, our website will be visible. So it will take a moment because it has to download repository first, then it has to build, and then build is deployed. When we were looking at this, I just want to bring your attention to something, this build artifact. Build artifact is that after building, we have specific binary, specific configuration, and this artifact I could deploy to various different environments. So I could deploy it to development, I could deploy it to UAT, and deploy it to production. Later on, it will be important that I deploy artifact to UAT, user acceptance testing environment, and once this pass all the tests, exact the same build, exact the same binaries, the same configuration will be moved to production. So exact the code which I have tested in a user acceptance test, I will get it to production. Please remember about this. This is only something I want to just bring it to your attention only when a build is happening. So now we can see success mark. So we could see here in the history, the build was successful. I'm getting hash of the build of the last commit, so please have a look. This is the hash from the commit, and when I look here, the commits last is 10E8521. 10E8521. So you see, I can see exactly which version of the code. So this is exactly of this version of the code was deployed. So when I'm looking here, I can say, yeah, this is deployed. This is what's running at the moment. When we diagnose later on, when we'll be building something, from here, you would know which what exactly was deployed. Okay, how can I see my website? Well, when I go to the App Engine, and I can see here versions of my deployment. I can click on it, and we have here is info about your IP and the browser. Again, when I go to my my source code, and we make another change here. Well, let's say we just do something like this. We save it. We did exactly the same. Small change. Git push. Okay. And when this happened, and I'm looking in my Cloud console, I go to triggers, Cloud Build history. We can see another trigger is running. You have a commit number which was activated as well. This is how simple it is, and this is very simple example of deployment pipeline, which provide automation from editing source code, deploying to GitHub, and from GitHub deploying to Google Cloud. There's the simplest option. There's no environmental variables. There's very simple application, and we just deploy to a development platform. So developers are working on it. Once push the code is deployed straight away, and we can test. We could see what's happening. Okay, so deployment have finished. I can have a look here, and it has changed. Yes. So we could see it's working from editing in Visual Studio Code straight through the pipeline to be deployed in the Google Cloud. Okay, when we finish it, we did test our application. What we should do, we should clean it. The reason why we should clean it is because it was just simple test. We don't want to burn our credit. So I'm going to delete entire project. I don't need this project any longer. So one of the option is go to manage resources. There's the option for managing resources, and I have my project here. So this is project which I could potentially delete, and it will ask me to provide the name of this project just to be absolutely sure that I want to delete it. I provide it, shut down, and the project will be scheduled for deletion, and it will be deleted in due course. And it's not yet. It will be deleted. It will be deleted in a moment. So we can leave it here. Oh, I get a message. Project browser info has been shut down and is scheduled to be deleted. The project owner can cancel the shutdown on the project list page. Okay, I can close this. Yeah, it's pending deletion and cannot be selected. It will be deleted in the moment. So all resources will be deallocated, and I will not be charged anymore. In the meantime, I can go here to the page and see any other resources what I have. I could look at all my estimated charges, any errors, any information what I can see. However, I have only one project here, CapTech portal. There's nothing. How's this? This project cannot be selected because it's pending deletion. So that's it. It was a simple deployment. I hope you will succeed, and then we'll look at more complex deployments.